What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined today by Tyler Hicks and Chris Randone. Chris, we were talking before we came on the air, a little late today. We kind of got caught up in our conversations because, dude, it's only Wednesday, and it's been a wild week in the world of sports, and especially in the NBA. And we were talking about these lineups last night, and, I had some time yesterday. I got to watch both the shows, which is great. So I got to see Travis and Tidal and DC on the free show, of course, available on this Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. You'll be notified when they go live. Then, of course, I get to watch JSU and Big T up to lock. And we were all saying, or not we were all, but they were all saying, hey, it's tough to get up to Luka today. It's tough to get up to Luka today, right? Go with the balance build. I had a balanced build. I loved it, right? And I still got him in cash. But damn, Luka completely broke the slate last night. And if you didn't have him in your lineup, it almost felt like you were drawing dead. The only good thing was he wasn't super high owned. What did you think of that performance? And how has NBA DFS been treating you? Because this has just been a crazy, crazy week.
Yeah, man. It's like I told you right before the show. It's like the Wild Wild West, man. NBA DFS. It's just insane. I really don't know any other way to put it. Very different than other years too. I mean, it's definitely more competitive, 100%. But I mean, just situations like last night. I mean, the largest score ever in NBA DFS history.
Yeah, he broke the record. Who had the record before? It was Giannis, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was James Harden had it.
Oh, it's Harden. Okay.
Yeah, and it was the first time ever. 30 seconds left. The team's down 9. They come back and win. It's like never been done before. So that's another thing. And, obviously it goes into overtime, but I mean, Luka's just unbelievable, but this is the shit that we talked about. It's paying up for these studs that can put you in a position to just really give yourself a significant advantage across the field. I mean, he was like, it's low single digit ownership last night, but it was hard also to play him because of his price tag. But this is how you just find yourself a way to have an edge. And I'll tell you what, man, it's very, very difficult this year to take advantage of those situations, because last night, if you had Luka, I mean, obviously it paid off in some way.
Right. And obviously, right, I'm a bettor, right? That's where the amount of money I outlaw every night in betting compared to DFS is 20 times, right? Mm-hmm. So DFS to me is a total hobby. And we jump on, and honestly, when I first started, I didn't even realize like how good that these guys were. You're like, oh, hey, you're with JSU. Hey, you're with Travis Mangone. Hey, you're with AP. You're with Hoop. And I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. Nice to meet them. I didn't realize that these guys were top minds in the industry. And now I realize like how lucky I'm just to be involved with such a great team that we have here at Run Pure Sports. But one thing that those guys really got me on is you don't go stars and scrubs every night. Like, take advantage of the balanced build, because, for example, on Christmas Day, I spent up for Giannis. I think he got 50 something, right? And it's like I still wasn't even close, because to do so, I had to punt on a couple positions, 3 or 4 Ks, and you're looking at the top of the leaderboard, and there's a bunch of 8, 9 K guys littered in there where they built a more balanced build. So it's so tough to figure out. And I'm even saying, okay, I'm building more balanced lineups, right? I'm not spending up for Luka every night and throwing 3 scrubs in there to afford them. But that was the way to go last night. So it just shows that there's no right way to do it, and every night can be different. How are you approaching tonight? I mean, do you think it's going to be a balanced build night because after the stars and the scrubs blew out, or do we kind of go with the trend? Like, for example, in betting right now, I'm only betting overs. Like, when I'm doing my projections, if it projects to an under, we're just throwing it on there as a lean, because I'm just watching everything go over. And that seems to be the current trend in the NBA. How are you going to approach tonight?
I mean, there's quite a few studs on tonight's slate. And the most expensive guy of them all, Jokic, he's going to be highly owned. I mean, in single entry, he probably will be 40 to 50% owned. And in GBP, I mean, we're looking at maybe 35, 40%. So it's not like, oh, here goes a guy that we can, kind of maybe be sneaky on, and he has tremendous upside. He's getting rostered. Giannis is getting rostered. LeBron is, questionable. He might sit out. They played last night at Orlando, so that'll be something to look out for. Durant's price tag is almost in the 9K range, and I'm wondering, what people are looking at with that. But outside of that, I mean, there's only 5 or 6 guys above 10K tonight. It's not the biggest slate, but it's a decent size slate. These are the slate sizes that I like. So I mean, you're going to have the ability to make some good roster construction tonight. And as far as value is concerned, I guess we're going to wait for some injuries to open up. But right now, it's looking like Detroit is what the general public is wanting to roster. So they're getting a ton of ownership, and probably 4 or 5 guys are 7 of 8 of the highest projected owned guys tonight. So very curious to talk about this slate with you guys, see where you see it from a betting standpoint, and yeah, maybe we can see if we have any edge with the DFS early on.
Yeah, and Tyler, I mean, wild night in betting too, right? So we ran the projections in the morning. The projections like the over on that Knicks game, and we're gonna just keep talking about it. It was the game of the night. At one point, I think it was 112, 101, less than a minute to go. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't believe, every single game's going to go over except for our favorite over, right? And I'm just thinking, oh, we're done, right? It was like, they were down by 9 with I still can't even believe that game went over. But we got to win there. Hey, we complain about bad beats. Probably a little bit of luck involved too. Did you watch the Knicks game? I know it's your favorite team. And what did you think of Luka's performance?
Yeah, I mean, Luka's just ridiculous. It also cashed the best bets for us yesterday. Spread. We gave out Luka's double-double and win and the triple-double and win.
Yeah, that
took a little bit, but we got them both home and the over for Travis. So, I mean, it was a great night in that game. And just if you checked out the NBA playbook we did yesterday, the player performance double smashed. We had Buddy Hield to hit 5 threes and the Pacers win at 5-1. That won. We had Smart to hit 3 threes and Tatum to hit 5 threes in the Celtics to win. Both separate bets, plus 215 and plus 280. Those both won. Both the Luka bets won. And then in the late game, we had Murray 20-plus points and Denver wins at plus 160. That also won. So if you checked out the NBA playbook, you should have had a great night with all the bets there. But, man, just like you said, Spread, that Knicks game was definitely the best one to watch last night.
Yeah, and make sure, right, if you're a member of Run Pure Sports, take advantage of that NBA Bets playbook. It's something that Tyler and I created this year because we know how important on the DFS side that those playbooks are to you guys building the winning lineups, right? And they actually changed it. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's no longer members never win. People didn't understand the joke, so they've changed it to the winner circle there in our Discord. But you'll see people are using those playbooks to find winning lineups, right? Turn $50 into $5,000, turn $200 into $13,000, right? And it's a place for all the members of Run Pure Sports to go celebrate those wins. So we said we want to do something the same way. If they can't catch the shows or they want a little more insight than just seeing the pick on the sheet, take Knicks over, right? It actually gives you the projection. If the lines move during the day, we throw some notes and some trends in there and just a way to approach it. So Tyler and I are real proud of that. Make sure you're checking out the playbook on runpurebets.com. Head on over. It's its own tab. And it's in. As NFL ends, we're going to put even more into that. Tyler and I have some more ideas to make it even more info-centric, so to speak. But it was a great night for the playbook, Tyler. My only regret is that we didn't play more of our leans. I mean, the projections are doing really well right now, and we kind of had a middling week, right? 3-2, 2-3, right? It was just we were just kind of treading water, and we just crushed it last night. And that's why we do it. And that's kind of how betting goes, almost like DFS, right? There's nights where you just, min cash, bubble, min cash, and then you hit a big thing. It felt like that for us last night. So a lot of fun going on in the world of sports. And this is a wild week for NBA. When I didn't do this professionally, a lot of times I would take this week off because – there's so much injury news. In fact, I went to go look at player props this morning. Bet Online, this was the 6:30 a.m. my time. They only had 5 of the 16 teams even listed because there's so much moving parts for the news. We know that people get more sick this time of year because of all the travel with the family. And it's just a weird week for the NBA. Let's be honest. I'm sure you two guys are going to have a great time. I'm sure the chat's going to have a great time. Can you imagine what an NBA player's New Year's Eve looks like? I mean, with that amount of money. So, I mean, a lot of these guys are getting ready for those parties. My internet is slow today. I'm trying to pull up these lines right now. But we're going to get right into it. And, of course, we're going to give you the betting perspective. And then Chris is going to help us start getting an early look on the DFS as we get up to lock with another great slate. A lot. All right, I keep getting the circle. Let me just go to the playbook here. Tyler, can you read off the first game that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, first game's going to be.
Bookmaker doesn't want to go.
First game will be Suns visiting the Wizards. Suns are going to be 2-point favorites. The total is 221.
All right. And if I remember right for our projections, I like the Wizards there, but that's a tough play, right?
Yeah,
No. I barely had an edge on the Suns, right?
Yeah, I'm getting that all pulled up now. Yeah, barely an edge on the Suns there. A little bit of an edge on the total, though. We do like the total there. My worry, though, is like you look at this injury report. The Suns just played last night. Landry Shamet questionable, Campaign questionable, Chris Paul questionable. This might just be the Ayton show out there for the Suns tonight. I know Dwayne Washington had a great game last night, but can you count on that every night? I don't think so. So even that total with Washington being a team that's just down right now, they also probably don't only have Beal tonight, who's doubtful. I think Kuzma and those guys could be enough to beat this Suns team, especially if those guys sit. So I'll be on the Wizards here.
How much? Start with you, Tyler. How much do you think Beal being out hurts this team?
I think it hurts a little bit, but I mean, when you're playing a Suns team that's missing their best player, and they could be sitting Chris Paul here too, Cam Johnson's still out. It's going to be Ayton and a bunch of scrubs. So I think Washington could beat that team.
We the People says hashtag no days off. You should know this. I'm sure you like days off since you want to shorten the NBA season. Yeah, I do. And guess what? We the People, I need time to spend all this money. What's the point of winning a bunch of money every single day if I'm just going to sit in my house and grind on this computer and put numbers into a spreadsheet? Come on, We the People. Give me a chance to live. Chris, what do you think of the Suns and the Wizards?
Yeah, I'd probably lean the Wizards here. They came off a big win last night at home against the 76ers. I will say, I agree with Tyler. Beal being out, I don't think doesn't affect it too much. I would be more concerned if Porzingis or Kuzma are out, to be honest with you. There's just a lot of upside there for them in tonight's matchup, especially if Chris Paul sits. I mean, you got to like the Wizards even more because, I mean, they're depleted, especially down low with, Cam Johnson being out, and Jay Carter not playing so far this year. They're down a lot of bodies. And then with Booker, obviously their best player out. I see a significant kind of lean here towards the Wizards. They also are popping way better from a projection standpoint. 5 of the 7 guys in this game that are, kind of grading out very well are coming from the Wizards side, to be honest with you. So from a DFS standpoint, I think you can consider guys like Rui Hachimura tonight as a nice value play. He'll play about 20 minutes, but he might get some extended run tonight. And, with that, if he gets finally into that 22, 24 minute range, that $3,900 price tag, he can pay off. So he's someone I think, you should consider. DeAndre Ayton, his price tag is very good, 7,400. His projection is almost about 40 points tonight. Ownership is nothing crazy, but if you feel like you want to pay the center position, don't mind it because I think you can also pay for Porzingis tonight. Grades out very well. He's 9K, low teens ownership, but he just has tremendous upside tonight, and Kuzma does as well. So these are guys that I'll consider from a DFS standpoint, and then from a betting standpoint, I think Washington can really handle them tonight. They're at home again, no travel. Phoenix had to travel. Phoenix is depleted right now with these injuries, and if Chris Paul does miss, I think Dwayne Washington just gets another extended run. I was on him a little bit last night, ended up paying off extremely. He's going to have the ball in his hands. And, if Paul does play, I'd rather probably have a little bit more exposure to Washington because I will say, if Paul's out, he's just going to be flooded. I mean, he's 3,200. Everyone's going to go to him. So just something to keep out in consideration. If Paul plays, I think that gives me a bigger bump to Dwayne Washington and be against the field.
All right, let's move on. The Orlando Magic are -1 in Detroit, taking on the Pistons, total of 229. Tyler, what are your thoughts here? The Magic have been playing really well. They fell short against the Lakers first last night. I was disappointed in that. That was my best bet, so started the night with an L, and then after that, it was just like WWWWW. So I was, pretty happy we were able to bounce back. Unfortunately, took the L on the best bet, but things go like that sometimes. What are your thoughts when the Magic take on this Pistons team? Short favorites here, but I don't think the Pistons have necessarily been playing that bad. They're usually catching 5 to 6 points, though. Now they're only catching 1. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, what was it? They played, okay, so they were at home yesterday. Now they travel up to Detroit. You know how I feel about these back-to-back spots where they have to travel pretty far. So I'm
Yeah,
going to
it's
side with
pretty.
Detroit here in a pick'em game. I think Ivy, Bogdanovich, Stewart. I think like the Magic had their nice little run. They do have some nice players, but I think they're still not a very good team. Like they're still in this tier with the Detroit, with an OKC. They had a nice little spurt, but a team like Detroit, everyone's going to be on the Magic here after what they've shown. Give me Detroit here. I think they win this game outright. I think Bogdanovich lights them up from three. That over 2.5 at plus money, I'll be all over that.
I don't hate that. And that's where the NBA a lot of times is navigating these situational spots and not necessarily just doing a breakdown. Like the NFL, you're getting the team's best efforts. They all prepare for each other. This is a really tough spot here for the Magic. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. I think, regression was kind of due, what we've seen over the last 10 or so games from them. I bet the Lakers last night, money line. They were an underdog at Orlando.
Nice. I should have done that. I was all over the Magic there. I just thought the depth. I thought they were going to win the bench minutes, and that just didn't happen.
Yeah, the guard position has really kind of been a disruptor for the Magic, and they have so many guards, right? They have, Beverly, Lonnie Walker, and then with Westbrook coming off the bench, I was just like, man, this could be a prime spot for him to tear up that second unit, and he did. I think he almost had a triple double, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But tonight, this is a game where a lot of people are going to because of the price tags. I will say one guy that is, still kind of expensive, but he had the worst game of his NBA career last night, Banchero. He was in foul trouble. He was really just having problems, staying out of foul trouble, but also just kind of being disciplined. And so for me tonight, he only played 22 minutes last night. So this is a back-to-back. They traveled. I think he gets a really nice bounce-back game. No one's going to own him tonight because of his price tag. But I will say this can be one of those matchups where he does have upside. It's not the worst matchup for him either. Just something to take into consideration. But then you have your guys like Burks, Stewart, Hayes, Jalen Duren. Bagley's out, so you're going to see probably a couple more minutes go to Stewart and Duren. Both guys, especially Duren, double upside for sure. And so, you're going to see a lot of ownership go to those four guys from Detroit. But then also even guys off the bench, Sadiq Bey's getting ownership. Jordan Ivey is always someone you can consider. So just, I don't know how many of these guys you want to roster, maybe 2 or 3. It's just, there's just so much ownership going here that I would be worried that if they do go off like we're anticipating, because I do think Detroit wins this, I want to make sure at least I have pieces or some shares of this game in some capacity.
All right. The chat's loving the fact that Russell Westbrook had a triple-double. If we had a smaller slate, I would get into that. But
did he have a triple-double last night?
That's what the chat said.
He's probably gonna have another. He's probably gonna have another one tonight because he's gonna be the only guy on the floor for them.
Yeah, I knew he was close. I didn't see the end result, but yeah, he did. I'm looking now. So he had 15, 13, and 13 in 29 minutes. He shot 6 for 11 from the field. Not a bad game, man. This roll off the bench for him is just so much more promising because he's a guy that just needs to have the ball in his hands, and he's the type of player that just needs to have that leadership role at all times on the court. So it's just a good fit. I really like what they're doing. And like I said, Lakers, if they can find some guy to score, I know you hate this spread, but if they can get a Buddy Hield or a Terry Rozier, someone, they could be a problem coming into a playing game.
A playing game.
Yeah.
As long as you said playing, I can't even argue.
They're
You're
not
right.
They're not
right. They could be in there with the Timberwolves and the Kings, right? That sounds about right. Greatest player of all time.
Well, there's just a lot other great teams in the West, so we gotta be realistic here.
They're rolling out Phoenix guys right now. Landry Shamet out, Campaign out. I'm waiting to see if anything. Bismack Biyombo now questionable.
Should I take the Wizards right now?
If that number's stuck, yeah, I would take it.
All right.
Because my guess is this is going to keep trickling in, and these guys are just going to keep getting rolled.
They just took it off as I tried to hit submit. Wait, they too small? They got to give me the too slow.
So what do you think it changes to? Because Phoenix is a favorite at this moment.
It's going to be Wizards -2 now.
Gotcha.
Maybe -3. That would be my guess. So.
Is Chris Paul out or no?
His name hasn't came across yet.
Yeah.
Why would they? Maybe they'll have to play him if the other guys are out. Yeah. All right. Let's see how that one goes. We were just talking about the Lakers, right? And you said that everybody's sitting there +8 in Miami. taking on the Heat. Tyler, my numbers like
Yeah,
the Heat.
Chris
What do
Paul
you think?
not on injury report as of Wednesday, it says. Just came across, so he's playing.
So what do you think of this Lakers game here, Tyler? +8.
I mean, how do we not take the Heat here? I mean, I know it's 8, but they already said LeBron's probably going to sit here. He's listed questionable with rest. I know Bam and Jimmy are questionable, but this Heat team's really deep. And outside of LeBron, I don't really trust anybody on this Lakers team. Yeah, they have Russell Westbrook who put up a triple-double, but do we trust him to lead the team to a victory here? I don't. I think Miami comes in. I think Hero has a great game. He lights them up from 3, and they win this game pretty easily. I'll be on Miami.
All right. Tyler likes the Miami Heat -8. What do you think, Chris?
I mean, it's just crazy that Tyler Hero's coming in close to being a 10K guy on DraftKings.
Is it though? Like his numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're ridiculous, but they're not superstar-esque. Okay, like 33, 37, 37, 42. Like, okay, like the 9K range, yeah, like that's fine. But like to put him in that 10K plus tier, like, come on, like that's like comparing him and SGA. Like, are we really gonna? I don't see it yet. But I mean, like, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's bad whatsoever. It's just wild to me because never would I would have thought. This guy started off as like a 6K guy this year in DFS. I mean, he's literally closing in on becoming a 10K guy. And yes, I mean, he's been absolutely on fire. And tonight's another good matchup for him. So I'm just curious what that would look like as far as the general public. I mean, no one really wants to pay $9,300 for Tyler Hero. So he's projected to have less than 1% ownership as well. So if you think that there's something there and you see an edge, I mean, I don't mind it. But yeah, it's hard for me if LeBron does sit. It's hard for me to have faith in the Lakers competing and making it competitive. I just don't see it. So for one, I think I would probably shy away. But Russell Westbrook gets 7,500. He'll get extended run. He'll have so much more usage, especially with LeBron off the court. So, it's not the best of matchups for him, but one would have to think that you got to have at least a couple shares if you're doing 20 or 150 lineups. So I don't mind that. But this is a very nasty game from a DFS perspective. And from a betting perspective, I mean, I would probably tease it and take Miami.
Oh, don't ever tease basketball, Chris.
I always tease it.
Don't do that.
I'm a sucker for the parlays.
But I'm just saying, okay, if you're gonna do it, just do the money line.
Why is that?
All right, so let's just say I've never even done. All right, let me just throw this in here. So -8 here, and let's just say I had it with the Wizards. Well, they kept that Wizards number the same. All right. Well, I can't do a money line or a teaser. All right, let's just say I have this +2. All right, teaser now. Why isn't it letting me put stuff in? Oh, they must have taken it off the board again. Let me put another team in. The Pistons. Why is it not letting me tease here? My point is, on a normal teaser, right? You're paying like -260.
Really?
Right? On each individual leg, right?
No. Like if you do like a 3-team teaser, right? It's usually like 100 to win like 125, 150. If you do like a 4-point teaser, I don't think that's entirely bad. Is it bad?
Yeah, the math on that is terrible. And I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. If I went through and looked through, but so you would have to figure out the number of times that falls within the 4-point number compared to the fact that you're moving from -110 to essentially around -250, 260 there. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, let's just say you don't want to lay the 8 with the Heat. Just do a money line parlay in my mind and don't tease. I will put the Heat at -300. So let's just, because I think it's around -260. So for an extra 40 cents, I get an extra 4 points.
Wait, but what about, all right, so then what about this? What about football, teasing football?
Teasing football is good. The only thing you should really be teasing is the NFL sides. You shouldn't even tease totals.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's so funny. I used to tease everything and I used to not be a Wong guy, but after 6 years or whatever, I'm just like, okay, it's Wong's only for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I like I said, doing it on top of my head, it's bad, but the math on those teasers, it's just terrible. It's just a huge edge to the book. You're giving away an edge. So like, let's say you like the Heat tonight. I wouldn't tease them. They're only -300. I would just find another team that you really like and just add them in that way.
Okay, that's fair.
So I would stay away from teasers in that regard. You only get 4 points. If you think about it, the points are less valuable in basketball compared to football, right? So let's think of a normal football game, right? You get 6 points in a game with a total of 45. You're only getting an extra 4 points in a game of a total of 237.
Gotcha.
Right? I mean, even like we like to tease games with lower totals, right? Like I'd much rather get an extra 6 points in a game with a 39 total than a game with a 52 total. So now I'm only getting 4 points in a game with a 237 total. The Wong teaser, Bill, is when you're going through 3 and 7. So it's a +2 up to +8 or minus 7.5 down to a minus 1.5, stuff like that. So
have you ever heard of the teaser where you add more to what their spread already is?
The pleaser?
It's like if they're -7 and you can go to -13 if you think they're really
it's called a pleaser.
Damn,
I think the guy on the guy that runs the South Point, he used to run the Cal Neva in Vegas. I think he was the first one to put those out. And this was back when in Vegas, in Reno. This was back when Reno was a lot bigger than it is now. Like Vegas has become a party place. Reno is
but I feel like those would be more beneficial, not for necessarily the favorite, but if you think an underdog is going to win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those people do that a lot. Even on this is one of my main reasons I like bookmakers. You can buy points too. And I don't do it on the sheet, but a lot of times, like rather than lay the E, let's go to the Miami Heat here, and we might go over time because of this, but let's go back to straight Miami Heat. -8 is -105. If I go to -9, it's +113. What are the chances it's going to land between 8 and 9? But I've just given myself 23 cents there.
Gotcha.
That's another reason I like bookmakers. So I'm big on selling points, especially in the NBA. So. All right. Anything else more on the Heat and the Lakers?
No. I think we pretty much set our piece on it.
Nope.
All right. The Brooklyn Nets are -7 in Atlanta, taking on the Hawks. Of course, we got to check the injury report here. I see Bogdan questionable, Capella's out, Culver's in, DeAndre Hunter questionable, Jalen Johnson questionable, Trae Young questionable, Seth Curry's in, Joe Harris still out. Tyler, what do you think? Is Trae going to play?
I think he's going to play, but what was it? Did they move? Okay, so they moved Hunter down to questionable. I swear I seen him ruled out already. But if Bogdanovich sits also, I mean, they have no bench punch now. Durant is just going to be unguardable by this Atlanta team.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take Brooklyn here. It's going to be through Durant. His 30+ and win is +160. I'll be on that. His points props 29.5. If you don't trust both, just play the over 29.5. I just think he has a big game right here against this team.
Yeah, interesting. Chris, if Trae sits, right, all types of opportunities in this game from a DFS perspective?
Oh, yeah. I think I would give a significant bump to Dejounte Murray as well. I mean, he's just very volatile.
Is he going to be worth the 10K?
He's 8,500.
He's only 8,500 right now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been very volatile this season. It's not your typical Dejounte Murray box scores we saw in San Antonio, but he does have upside, right? We've seen a couple 60-point games this season. We've seen a few 50-point games this season. I'm talking about fantasy-wise.
Right.
And so tonight with Young off the court, you would have to think he gets that extended run. If it's competitive, he'll probably play 40 minutes, to be honest with you. But then also I like Kyrie Irving on the other side as well. I mean, he's 8,400. These Nets are getting a ton of ownership, believe it or not. I mean, not the craziest, but averaging around 12 to 20% across like 5 or 6 guys. And I think everyone's going to go back to the boat with TJ Warren. He's coming off a huge performance. He's 4K. He's dual eligible. I don't know if I want to chase that per se. I think maybe I'd probably go to like a Claxton. I think this is a good spot for him. He's 5,700. He grades out very well tonight on DraftKings as far as a point per dollar perspective. And then also too, Ben Simmons. I mean, power forward, center eligible. He's 6,200. But if I want to target the Hawks tonight, I'm looking at this too. If Capella's out, I think I'm going to definitely have some more exposure to Simmons and Claxton as well. Ben Simmons is 6,200, but I mean, he has just so much upside from what we've seen. He can easily get us 40 fantasy points without a doubt. So I'm gonna definitely kind of continue to look at that, see where ownership lies and stuff. But as far as anything else from like the Atlanta side, I don't think maybe anything.
If Capella's out, maybe some Okongwu or Collins.
I'm tired of this Okongwu guy, man. I really am. Like,
don't tell our guy Stevie Boynton that.
I'm over it, man. Like, one night he plays 40 minutes against Chicago. He puts up the best freaking game of his career. And then, plays Indiana. It's a great matchup. He just can't control himself. He's fouling the shit out of Miles Turner. He only plays 21 minutes. He has 17 points. I'm just not interested. Like, it's just too volatile for me. At 5,200, I'm okay. I'd rather go to Nick Claxton. I'd rather pay the extra 500, go to Nick Claxton. Claxton's going to play 30 minutes. He's been very efficient at the rim as far as scoring. If he could just get a few more rebounds, because the defense statistics are there. If he gets a few more rebounds, you're looking at a double-double with a couple steals and a block. I love that. So give me some more exposure to Claxton over Okongwu.
Excellent. And sometimes DFS and real life doesn't correlate. Westbrook. But Claxton has been so important for this team. He's been so important for this team. And it really just shows you how, and I say this every day, so I'm not going to go too long on it. Just these guys come in so young, and we run and write them off and say they're not going to be contributors right off the bat. But Brooklyn, when they made that Jared Allen deal a little while ago, they were pushing their chips in the middle for Nick Claxton and saying, hey, he's actually going to fit into more of the style that we're going to run with Kyrie and KD, right? He's quick. He's a good roll man. He can become a good rim protector like Allen, but he's better. He's more versatile in a switch-heavy defense. Do you see what I'm saying? Like Allen, you don't want to switch with him. You're either going to run him at the level or you're going to play drop with him. If you want to go all 5 switches, the way Houston did, the way Golden State did, which a lot of teams like to do because it's easy for the players to understand, right? There's not a lot of coaching involved. Hey, you're switching. This is easy, right? This isn't a complicated scheme. This is what they want to do, especially with guys like Kyrie who can just space out during the game. Claxton has become so important to this team, and I think he's an underrated part of this winning streak. The other thing is we basically got tired of slandering Ben Simmons, right? I mean, it was just like it was like kicking a guy when he was down or just saying something that's really obvious. Now he's kind of playing under the radar. Yes, he's overpaid, but if you took his contributions and you put him on like a $10 million contract, you'd say this is a really solid player, right? It's just because he's overpaid. That's why we're upset about him, because we had him in the superstar category. But take off that number 1 pick tag, take away the thing, and just see what he's contributing to the team. It's really not bad. So I think those are 2 important things to talk about when speaking on the Nets. Tyler, you like the Durant player prop way to go at this one. Is there anything else from this game?
Nope. I just want to get into these Bucks games because, Drew Holiday was listed off the injury report as of last night. Now he's sick, so he's not playing tonight. Thanks, NBA.
He was on this morning, though. When I woke up this morning, he was on it.
Wasn't he listed as off injury report with his ankle issue, and then now he woke up sick?
I thought it was a hamstring. That's what I saw him
on.
Oh,
so it's even better. Now he's sick, so now he's not playing.
I kind of expected that. That's why, I'm going to tweet it out right now. I did bookmaker review. I took Giannis over points.
This comment here, the dude in the middle looks homeless. It's because of this sport.
Unbelievable.
Hey, I
That's
will
just
say,
rude.
Yeah, that was rude. That is a fresh bean.
I mean, you don't see the wall behind him, bro? Does that look like a tent to you?
I will say the beanies look fresh, though. I'm gonna have to get me one.
I know you know what I'm gonna do when we go to the party, Chris? I'm not even gonna bring any clothes. I'm just gonna buy all Run Pure gear while I'm there. Yeah, I always do that. Like I just pack like one thing in my suitcase and just buy clothes while I'm on vacation.
Hey, I mean that's not a bad idea. I just want to say for this game real quick that if Capella does sit, I mean we can go back to the well with John Collins. He's only 5,300. Probably will have a 30-point game in this situation. So I know the field will be on him, but it's hard to kind of shine away from Collins knowing that, he'll have some good upside there, knowing that Capella won't be on the floor. So 5,300 is just way too cheap if that's the case.
All right. I just want to throw something in there just at random. I wouldn't want to box a dude that played offensive line. The Minnesota Timberwolves are plus 6.5 in New Orleans, taking on the Pelicans. 234.5 is our total here. What? It's just so stupid. The first thing we have to do, we don't even talk about the matchups. We have to go straight to the injury report. Kyle Anderson questionable, Jordan McLaughlin out, Torian Prince out, Dyson Daniels in. I like Dyson Daniels as a player. He's another guy. He's not that good right now. In 2 years, watch out. Brandon Ingram out, Herb Jones out. You know that's huge for Mr. Defense over here. Spread Astaire. Trey Murphy's in though, and Zion Williamson is in. Tyler, pretty clean here on the Minnesota side. What do you think of this game? They're catching 6.5 against one of our favorite teams.
Yeah, with Zion and these guys in, I have to be on the Pelicans. I mean, I'm not scared of Rudy Gobert in the paint when you have Zion and they're just beating them up down low. Even laying the 6.5, I think once this team gets most of their guys back, they're one of the best teams in the league. The record shows that. So I'll be on the Pelicans here.
Yeah, I did not want to lay the 6.5. Let me pull up the projections. What did I have there? And while I'm doing that, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, not too much craziness from a DFS perspective is coming from this game as far as ownership. For some reason, Naz Reid is popping here, 4,700. Now, obviously, Gobert, there's nothing wrong as far as him not playing tonight. There's no Q tag or anything. I'm just a little confused on why so much ownership. I know last game he got 29 minutes in Miami, but prior to that, I mean, with Gobert back, 25, 13, 12 minutes. And so this is kind of a gamble, in my opinion, unless there's something that I'm not familiar with kind of the kind of role right now. So just something to look into. I gotta figure that out actually, because I'm a little bit thrown off. But with Zion back, obviously this changes a lot. I think everyone's gonna probably shy away now from McCollum. He's also 9,100, so probably a no-go for me from that standpoint. I think Anthony Edwards is okay, 9,500. He's popping in some optimal lineups when you run it. So he's dual eligible, shooting guard, small forward. I don't mind that. And then maybe a couple shares of D'Angelo Russell. But as far as anything else, I think I'm going to shy away from this game. From a betting perspective, when I look at it from the grand scheme of things, I would probably say, given the fact that Zion is back, I would probably lean here, Minnesota for sure. Or excuse me, New Orleans for sure.
Yeah, I had this one by 7. Not much of an edge. Dang it. It's so funny, Tyler, and we talked about it before, when I run the projections, of course, I'm just jumping in numbers. But then when I go put them in, I like root for things to show up. I wanted to take Minnesota here. I wanted them to tell me to take Minnesota.
I will say Minnesota does project very well from a fantasy standpoint as compared to New Orleans. So the first 4 or 5 guys, when you look at it from this game and you run it, are all from the Minnesota side. So typically sometimes when that happens, not only are the games competitive, but it sometimes kind of signifies that this team can actually win.
So it's funny. I spent some time. I like NBA Reddit, right? Reddit on NBA is fun. So we the people will love this, dude. I probably spent like a half hour in a thread yesterday about the best defensive duos of all time. I was thinking we the people will probably hate this. If I had your Twitter, I would have sent it to you. But the other one I read is they're calling this Rudy Gobert trade of course it's all time because these kids are under 25. But let's be realistic. Worst trade of the last 5 years. I mean, would you agree, Chris? I mean, they gave up so much for Rudy. He hasn't helped a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, and to be honest with you, they play better with only one big man. So that's something that also they probably need to figure out as well. I mean, I don't know. I think for me, from what I saw from earlier in the season compared to now, the offense just is able to flow more when you have. I mean, these are 2 freaking big men in Gobert and Towns, so they're gonna have to probably figure something out, especially when Towns gets back. But yeah, I mean, they just gave up way too much. Like, I don't understand what they were trying to accomplish with that. I mean, Utah fleeced them. I mean, there's really no doubt about it. So I don't know. I mean, I Gobert, he's solid. I got nothing bad to say about him as far as him being a player and stuff. But when you already have Cat, it's just like you're trying to make Cat a stretch 4, and he wins the 3-point contest, so we're going to switch up kind of who he is as a player. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. All right. Cesar Martinez with a great comment here. Hit that like button. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, giving out the winners. All right, Tyler, speaking of winners, I got to go pick winners here in 15 minutes. Let's try and smash through this. The Bucks are -2 against the Chicago Bulls. I love the Bucks here.
I love them
gonna
so
stop
much. I
Giannis?
already bet them spread, and you know what happened? They rolled Drew Holiday out on us. So
Who cares? Do
the
you
number's
care?
the number's gonna get better for you. So you'll get a nice bet on this. I'm at -5 because NBA rules the world. Guys just sit when they want to. So I'm gonna be on the
it only
Bucks,
changed
but
to 4.5, right?
did it change? No, it's down to 2.5.
Oh,
I got -2 on Bookmaker.
Yeah, so good job getting the better number.
Should I smash it? Should I just hit it right now?
I say yes, but I mean, it's the
Bro,
NBA.
where's that Giannis performance double?
I already bet it. It was +102 on the double. Let me pull it up now. It's gonna be like +130 now.
Bro, he's gonna crush tonight.
Actually, where is he at? Plus double and win +115.
All right. I just bet the Bucks. Chris, let's play a little narrative game. Do you think that MVP candidates saw last night and they're going to be more ball hoggish or try and put up bigger numbers tonight? Or am I just kind of trying to create something that doesn't exist?
I don't know. I feel like you're creating something that you want to exist.
Yeah, because I just love Giannis. That's my favorite dude.
No, he's great. I mean, I know last night maybe kind of shifted a couple people from Tatum to Doncic for sure. A lot of people are just so big on Tatum winning the MVP this year. We don't know yet. I mean, Doncic is just the definition of a true MVP. I mean, without him, the Mavericks are just absolutely nothing. They don't have a shot. So it's just interesting. Obviously, we can never forget about Giannis.
Who's worse, Mavericks without Luka or Nuggets without Jokic?
It's got to be the Mavs.
Damn, it's got to be the Mavs, man.
All right.
It's just not. I mean, look at the team. At least we can get.
Yeah, I guess you still have Jamal Murray and Porter. They could put up numbers, right?
Yeah, and AG's played pretty solid this year throughout.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. And then Bruce Brown has played amazing this year. In a lot of aspects. Bones Highland is good off the bench. I don't mind him whatsoever. Even I don't know if you guys have seen, but Jermichael Green has had some nasty dunks. I mean, he's playing great, still off the bench in just a bench player role. So there's just no. Mavericks are a gross team to me without Doncic. Like I don't see anything there as far as any upside. Maybe Christian Wood. Dinwiddie, whatever, but give me the Nuggets. But this game right here, a lot of people are going to shift to Milwaukee here. Giannis is getting a ton of exposure. Pat Connaughton's getting a ton of exposure. And now with Holiday being out, that's going to give a bump to Javon Carter, which he's going to probably be heavily owned at 3,500, considering he's going to have the ball in his hands too. So what that looks like, I'm not entirely sure yet. And then, from the other side, Chicago guys, it's always the same thing, right? 6 to 7% ownership across the three main dudes of Levine, Vucevic, and DeRozan. Your typical Pat Williams shares will be there because of his price point and he's dual eligible. But from a DFS perspective, I'm not really just liking anything from the Chicago side, so I'll probably stay away. I agree with you guys. I think Milwaukee kind of just handles them here.
Especially coming off 2 losses. I'm not making something up there, right?
No. I think Milwaukee handles them here. I feel pretty confident about that. I think Giannis will just take over. It'll be very difficult for them to defend. Give me Milwaukee here from the betting side as well.
I can't wait for tonight's slate. I think it's a lot of fun.
If the Bucks lose the night spread, you're gonna be hearing a lot from me.
Yeah, I mean things happen.
It's just unacceptable in this league at times.
No, it's an 82
every
schedule.
day you find a line at like midnight. It's like perfect. This line's definitely getting steamed up. I'm gonna bet it now. You wake up in the morning, guys get rolled out on the other side.
I quit betting overnights. I don't give a fuck about betting openers anymore.
Listen, if you want a good bet, my alma mater, UCF, is playing in 10 minutes. You can hammer them against Duke.
Basketball or
football or basketball?
No, football. John Rice.
You played at UCF?
No. I tried walking on at UCF, but no, I was done after high school because I actually lost some weight when senior year. I was flirting with the 300-pound range, and then they wanted to shift me to tight end. And honestly, it was just my cholesterol, my triglycerides, my whole blood panel was just off the freaking range. So I had to kind of just really switch up the healthy lifestyle. I lost 50 pounds. I tried playing tight end, and I thought I would be able to, just because I had a grants and scholarship that I could walk on, but just 6'2", and then I started kind of dwindling down to like 215, 210. It just wasn't a good fit for me. So I was like, no, I'm going to be done. But Duke can't stop running quarterbacks. John Rice Plumlee, he's a transfer from the SEC. He's absolutely incredible. He's fast as hell. UCF, take him. Just trust me on it.
All right, I'm doing that right now.
In Randone, we trust right here.
Chris, how much you're hitting the weight bench, right? What are you squatting? What are the bench numbers? How you looking, man? You're a pretty impressive dude. I can't believe Mangone and all those guys were going after you yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just like the humble, quiet guy. Like, I don't know. I don't.
I told you before the show, I'm gonna start writing some promos for you. I mean, if I was as athletic as you and going against Big T, I'd be like, I'm the slickest, I'm the quickest, I'm the baddest. Go against me, you're gonna be the saddest. Like, come on, let's watch some Muhammad Ali and get you going.
No, I think right now I just got over the 200-pound mark. I did get down to like 182, but now I've been on this like new plan. Bench. Right now, I think like yesterday I did chest. I put up 245 like 11 times.
I was repping out at 155 yesterday. I was doing the Y grip though. I'm trying to get this part going.
No. And then like with incline, I'll do like 195, 200. And then squats, I mean, 350. Leg press, I'll do like 500. So
damn. Okay. So see, I'm like deadlifting in the 300 ranges. My squats, I'm in the 2.
See, I stay away from the deadlift because of the back, and I fucked up one time, or excuse me for my language, but I messed up.
Oh, we don't care about language.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna be late to picking winners, but now we had to go through that. Dude, we work with some badasses, Tyler. We work with some badasses. Kurt, Chris, we're ready to go. We need to have a blocking competition. Why are we even playing basketball? Let's see who can sack the quarterback against Chris or Kurt.
Why do these small guys from Run Pure think that they can like handle me or something? It's just very strange.
So like let's say I drop back to play quarterback. Can Big T get by you in 10 reps?
Can he what?
Like, do you think could you block Big T? Like, I'm dropping back for quarterback. You have to block one-on-one. How like would you just put him in the ground every time?
I would put him on his ass.
We got to do that. Screw playing basketball.
Yeah, I will. I mean, like just from being, on an offensive line for 5-6 years, and then just knowing kind of the dynamic of what that looks like, and just any type of scheme. Yeah, I mean, like, one, he wouldn't get by me, and two, if he was trying to run a route, I mean, I would be so aggressive up front with him. It would just, I'm sorry.
I cannot wait till March.
I still say we do the 2v2 basketball tournament.
Yeah, I would
That's
love
much better, I think, in my eyes.
Absolutely,
especially for me because I can't shoot.
You just pair the big guys with the small guys and just see who's the real Kobe.
Yeah, let me set some picks. That's what I'm good at. All right, we got to be quick. Denver Nuggets here.
They got to live stream the Run Pure thing for like all the subscribers and everyone. Like, they got to do some type of like.
We'll make it like a vlog on the YouTube channel.
100%. They have to.
Yeah, I'm going to be embarrassed. But to be fair, you guys are beating up on an old man here, okay? I'm 46, right? Trying to go against you guys. The Denver Nuggets -2 in Sacramento, taking on the Beam team. Tyler, I was all in on superstar subtraction last night. You said spread. Stop being a homer. These guys are going to get worked. For 3.5 quarters, I was going, I knew it. But in the end, you were right. What are your thoughts on these teams rematch tonight?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this one, you just look at the injury reports. Sabonis probably isn't playing again. Porter's going to sit.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about the Sabonis injury. He shouldn't play for like 2 months. So he's basically got the same thing that Embiid had.
Yeah, I don't get why he's just they just haven't rolled him out for a month. Like you said, they're just like they just keep leaving him.
Do they just don't want the team to give up? Do you think?
I think so. I think they're trying to tell those guys he'll be back sooner than he actually is. But then you look at the Denver side.
We had Marvin Bagley.
Porter's questionable with rest. Murray's gonna sit. He doesn't play back-to-backs. Gordon's questionable and Bruce Brown's questionable. And we the people put.
Do you think they're gonna punt on this?
We the people put the only bet in this game that I would take in the chat already. It is
Tyler.
Yeah. Well, there's more comments coming in as I'm trying to click on.
All right, here you click it. I was clicking it too.
Yeah. So having 2 controls isn't working either. But yeah, Joker triple double and win. It's the only bet I'm taking here. He's gonna have the ball in his hands a ton, even more than he normally does. And this Sacramento team without Sabonis, I don't think it's all that good. I think it's what the team was the last few years. It's just run and gun. They'll win a couple games, but I don't think they're going to win many good games. So give me Denver.
All right. Just want to know. I mean, I'm going to be 2 months from 47 when we're competing. So if you guys beat me, you can't victory lap too hard. What are your thoughts here on the Nuggets and the Kings here, Chris?
I mean, when you first tell me about this game, I would like it a lot, but then obviously a lot of things change, especially with Sabonis. Last night I thought De'Aaron Fox at his price point was
I know he killed me. He killed me.
And he was 8,400. He's now 8,600. That's interesting. So he's got an increased price tag. We've talked about this before of how bad Denver has been against these point guards all season. Thought it was a prime matchup. Didn't get any assists. I mean, he shot 10 of 16 from the field, but just a basic game. So I might go back to Luol tonight though, because no one wants to roster him tonight. 2% projected ownership.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it tonight.
I want to play devil's advocate just a little bit here for you guys. Doesn't he rack up a lot of his assists running a pick and roll offense?
Yeah.
And there is nobody to run the pick and roll with tonight.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he's just running up and down the floor. I don't think them assists are coming tonight. I don't think they're coming for a while.
He can drive and dish though.
Yeah. I mean,
Herder shoots better than 3 of 7 from 3. He does better. Malik Monk didn't have the best night.
So you're saying bet the under on his assist prop?
That's what I'm thinking.
Tyler is. I think he bounces back. I think that we take too much in the results of these first games. I think the Kings bounce back here tonight. I'm a homer though. I don't think I'll bet it.
You want to light the beam, that's why.
Yeah, you want to.
Bro, there's no fog today. We can actually see.
Yeah,
it.
you just want to look out your window and be like, look at that bright light.
It's the beam.
No, but I think looking at this game, Jokic is just going to be so high owned. It's scary because if he does just go off, which he's more than likely capable of going off, especially with no Sabonis. It's hard for me to say no to him. So I have to figure out how I can fit him in so many lineups, especially like on a 20 max at 11.7K. It's hard for me to fade Joker. It's hard. It's just too difficult to see him kind of struggle. But outside of that, I mean, you can look at guys like Monk, who, gets a little bit more usage now with Sabonis not being there. I think Harrison Barnes, also what we saw last night, he's always staying around this 5K price tag range. I think you can give him a bump as well in regards to usage. And then I think one other guy that I probably will consider, even though he's kind of hurt me a couple times, he's 5,800. But Kevin Huerter, he's going to shoot 14, 15 shots probably. If he's efficient and he's shooting, I could just, maybe see just a little bit more as far as like defensively. But at 5,800, if he's able to get us 35 fantasy points, which he's more than capable of, he's done it quite a few times this season, and he's got 40 plus like 4 or 5 times. So I don't mind that as well. There's going to be Sacramento pieces you can look at here that, the usage has to go elsewhere because Sabonis soaks up so much usage. So Fox is definitely on my radar tonight because I want to go back to something that a lot of people won't, and it's a great matchup for him. So
yeah, how many of us snowflaked and got pissed and aren't going to do it again? I think that's great. You just talked me into it. All right, we lost Tyler, but that's great because Holden is messaging me, telling me to jump in the Zoom call for picking winners. So let's just do the Jazz and the Golden State Warriors real quick to right there. The Warriors, I was worried about a letdown spot for them last night. They didn't play their best, but they still got the win over the Hornets. They were the better team at the end. Klay Thompson's doubtful. JaMychal Green's questionable, but we're getting those young guys in there. Kuminga's been playing a lot better. Maybe some more run for Wiseman here. Kelly Olynyk in for the Jazz. That's going to be good news for them. Pretty clean injury report for the Jazz. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, 232 total. One of the highest here on the slate. I think you can go to a lot of places, and I think the public has seen that as well. Conley, Kuminga, Green, Clarkson, DiVincenzo, Jordan Poole. I think these are all guys in consideration. And then if you need like a value play, I don't mind going to Ty Jerome at 3,500. If you need some cheap guy, especially if you want to maybe go against the Javon Carter chalk, which we might see. But from a betting perspective, I kind of want to stay away from it. But I will say DFS guys, the late night hammer, given the total and kind of what this game could be.
Yeah, I tried the late night hammer. I had Fox and Poole last night. I'm doing pretty good because the guys I grabbed from, the Run Pure Cores, we're doing great. I'm set. It didn't hurt me tonight. We're going to go back to it though, right? Let's late night hammer again.
Yeah. De'Aaron Fox is my sleeper tonight. So I'm going to be on him for the late night hammer.
How about Poole? He disappointed last night.
He did. He grades well tonight. I don't mind it whatsoever. But I think maybe I'd probably focus a little bit more on DiVincenzo. He's just populating a little bit more on optimal lineups when I run it. But this is early on, so that can all change.
All right. Tyler can add himself back to the stream. Or I'll add him. Tyler, any thoughts on Warriors Jazz? Oh, we still got to work this out on who's in control.
What was that?
Warriors Jazz. Knock it out real quick, and then we're going to.
I just wanted to start a promo. Whoever picks 3 games right tonight can have the dog upstairs that won't sit the hell still and shut off the router on me. So that dog is up for grabs. But as for this one, I got to be on Utah. Just like we talked about some of these guys for the Golden State playing good. They're on a back-to-back. Wiggins is still out. Clay's going to sit. Looks like Jermichael Green's going to be out with COVID protocols. It's just going to be Draymond and Poole. I got to take Utah here. I think Markkanen has a big game. That 25+ and win is going to be my bet in this one.
All right. How about Lauri Markkanen there on the DFS side, Chris?
Yeah, looking at Lauri, I don't mind him. No one's going to go to him. So if you want to look at him as like a guy you're willing to pay up for, I would like a little bit more of a better projection. But sub 5% ownership tonight, it is a good situation for him. He's dual eligible. So that's another guy that you can consider for a late night hammer as well.
All right. Let's do the best bets. Start with you, Tyler. What do you have for us?
I'm going to go back to that Bucks game. Give me Giannis and double and win. Now he's by himself. He should have all the usage. He might even triple-double. And I don't trust this Bulls team. Bucks have lost 3 in a row. I think they get right here.
All right, Chris, best bet, side total or prop?
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm going to say is my best bet is Washington Wizards. I'm going to go be a little bit risky tonight, but I think this is a good spot for him. I think Kuzma and Porzingis will smash. And as far as my prop bet, give me the over for whatever Kyrie Irving's scoring prop is.
Okay. Over for Kyrie Irving. Richie Smalls wants to know what kind of dog. My best bet tonight, let's see. Tyler already took the Bucks. That was going to be it. Keep fading the Lakers, right? Miami Heat. Lakers coming off a win, playing their old team. I think the Heat should be fired up for this one. Give me the Miami Heat -8. All right. There you have it. Chris, any last words before we sign off?
No, let's just continue to put this weight up, get stronger, get bigger, because March is right around the corner, and a lot of these guys are in trouble for RPS. That's all I'm going to say.
We might have to start earlier.
Before
Chris,
you
I want to
end
screw around a little more. You got me like, dude, I'm telling you, that Monday show when you showed up flexing, that shit got me hyped. I was like, I need to go lift weights right now.
Let's go. I'm going to the gym right after this show.
Man, if we were closer, I'd be heading down there with you. I think it'd be a good workout for me.
We'll you see the Raiders are going to sit Derek Carr in these last 2 games?
We should have bet that Raiders line already.
It's move out the 9.5 already. They said they're sitting him because if he gets hurt in these last 2 games, his $33 million salary next year and then the $8 million the next year all become guaranteed.
Yeah.
The bet to make is Dallas Cowboys tomorrow. Henry was in this situation a few years ago where they didn't need to win and the game didn't matter because the last game of the season mattered depending upon if they were going to make the playoffs or not. This is a no-brainer for them to rest him. Just sit this one out. Cowboys are -10. If he does sit, I mean, it's probably going to go up to -14, -15 range because they have nothing. Malik Willis is horrible. They won't be able to move the ball. They just lost at home to the Texans. So I would hammer the Cowboys, to be honest with you. I think they just go in and smash.
All right, guys, I'm going to jump off, but I'm going straight over to picking winners with Holden and Travis. We got great content all day here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel, giving you these winners for free and having some fun at the same time. We're talking about Tyler's wall, Tyler's dogs, and Chris's impressive lift. So give us that thumbs up. Run Pure.